why buy a vehicle before a house? And when I was growing up, my dad told me about a story where he wanted to buy this Corvette, and he had one of my uncles. He was in the real estate business, and he said, "What if I told you I can show you how to get a duplex and that Corvette? Would that be something that you're interested in, and not just a Corvette?"
Mm-hmm.
And my dad said, "Yeah, sure," because he was like, "Yes, let me know," because my dad wasn't really versed at the time in real estate. Later on, he was, but at the time he was 23 years old, and so my uncle showed him how to not only get the duplex, but then the money that he got from the revenue of the duplex and everything. Then he bought the Corvette, so he had both of them. When I retired from professional baseball, I got in the mortgage industry. So I'm really versed when it comes to the lending criteria. So it really plays when it comes to, because 90% of our clients, they come to us from people like yourself in the real estate side of things. But most of our clients, they come from lenders. And so the lenders, I know what the criteria is. And so for veterans, the VA loans, just basically it's almost like a free loan for the most part, regarding the down payment is a lot less typically than everybody else. And as far as the money down, deposit, that whole money down is a lot more favorable for veterans and teachers. And so, and the programs, they fit them where it's easier for them to get in to be a homeowner. And if you know those, at least if you know the criteria as a potential homeowner, it's always better, because now if we give them that, the information of, okay, you came from the lender, and the lender's telling us, hey, I need our clients to get to, let's just say, a 640 middle FICO. Because what happens is they throw out the low, they throw out the high, they throw out the low, and then that's what whatever your middle score is, that's what they use to qualify you for the home purchase. And so knowing that and having that monitoring service for the clients to know what is your middle score, what's your Experian, what's your TransUnion, what's your Equifax. Mm-hmm. And from a lending standpoint or from a home buyer standpoint, you should know what your middle score is. And let's just say it's a 550. Okay, well, that's a starting spot. At least you know what it is, because let's just say you have a 700, a 600, and a 500. Well, okay, you have a 600 now. So at least knowing where you start from in terms of the middle score, because we're gonna work on all the scores, but it's always great to know where you're starting and then how does it work. Because if you don't know about the middle, how they throw out the high, they throw out the low, then how are you supposed to prepare? So that's kind of like the first step, as far as, not only knowing what all your scores are, but knowing how the mortgage lenders work in terms of throwing out the high, the low, and whatever your middle is. That's what we're rolling with as far as right now.
Yes. I mean, I don't think I understood the gravity of what the VA loan was while I was in. And it wasn't until I really got into real estate investing, got into my current profession, I was like, holy, this loan is, the best product out there, because of almost a virtually next to nothing, as far as out of pocket when you come into the closing table. And if you are service connected, that it's almost a guarantee you're bringing nothing to the closing table. So it's something that you get to reuse again and again for the rest of your life. And I'm like, that is incredible. And if you stay in, I'm already out of the Marine Corps, obviously, but if you stayed in 20 years and, in the military, you have to kind of every few years move. And if you had that strategy of buy a house where I'm currently at, and then rent it out, and then go on to the next base, and then keep that up for 20 years, man, you can come out in different areas. I mean, it's almost kind of like what you did with baseball, because I know you're traveling, and I know you have homes kind of like where you were posted up for a while. Same thing with the military. I'm like, but it doesn't get talked about enough. But hey, we do have the internet now. We do have YouTube now. So Information is just more available. It's just, hopefully if you're watching this, you're seeking information because you want to learn. Hey, I have a VA loan. I know it's good for real estate. How does it work when it comes to investing? If my credit is not so good, because one of the first things we do, it's so funny in the military, as far as like a big purchase, is we get the car. We get the car, right? I'll never forget. It's like almost like clockwork. After any deployment, you look at the parking lot. It's like a car dealership, right? New Mustangs, new Camaros, everything's brand new. So like that's one of the very first big purchases we do, especially when we were deploying a lot, because you always come back with a nice chunk of change, and you get a car. And chances are it was really bad back then, where they had predatory dealerships are right there off base, but and they would stick on you like the 20 plus interest rate, and those have gone better and gone blacklisted. But when I was in, it was a lot more prevalent, and yeah, it was pretty synonymous. Where if you were like first term military member, like within your first 4 years, so like a boot, that's what we called them, someone brand new, your credit was gonna suck because you probably got preyed on, or you did something dumb and foolish, and now your credit kind of suffered. And you just don't really, unless you have, you're young, unless you have the wisdom to kind of fix it, you're just going to kind of carry that on. So credit repair services, if you're a military member, active, or, you got out like me and it's not doing so hot, Thomari, how he is in video is how he is in real life, and his team is just as nice and just as cool. And it's just, I think when it comes to credit repair services, like I think we've talked about this before, there's a little bit of embarrassment, there's a little bit of shame, because because credit repair, it's not it's you have to admit that like you messed up somewhere,
Right, right.
I don't ever get the vibes from you where you're very, like you're judging me. It's like, how do we figure this out together?
Right, Omar. First of all, thank you for your service. I really appreciate, not only yourself, but anybody that served our country. I don't feel like we show you guys enough on how much we appreciate you and protecting our lives. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you for your service.
You're welcome. Thank you.
In words. And you hit on a great point. Why?
And I want to challenge everybody watching this video. You have to take the first step. And what do I mean? I mean, you have to reach out to us so we can help you. And I know watching YouTube, watching videos to kind of get yourself a little familiar with the topic is great, and you should be doing that. But there comes a point in time where you have to put a little bit action behind your intention and schedule a call. And we can do it virtually. We can do it over the phone. That way we can see how we can bring you value, right? Because when it comes to credit repair, when it comes to real estate, it's a very personal journey. No, there's never one that's always completely the same. So that way, and I say all that because that's how we can cater to you and figure out like how can we accomplish, your goals of fixing your credit to get the home so you can get to the next level, right? So I challenge you all to seriously, at the end of this video, have a few minutes to yourself, think to yourself like, should I call them? Should I do this? And just count 1, 2, 3, and then do it.
Yeah, the first step is really like Nike says, just do it. And when you do it, believe me, you're I just know like when I put things off and I don't prioritize them just maybe because it's a tough topic. Once I tell myself, hey, just what do I have to lose? If I don't get off the couch and do this, then maybe it won't get done. And so I just encourage everybody, like you said, Omar, is just let us know, because at the end of the day, once we know what your goals are, we can really like bring resources to the table. And so put in the comments what those goals are. Make a New Year's resolution, if you will, or hey, And if you don't believe in New Year's resolutions, make this into a habit like we talked about last week, where it's a routine of continuing putting your short term, your intermediate, and your long term goals down on paper. And then we can assist with the action steps. And when you take action, you really put that roadmap to where you're going and what you want to do. And then it becomes reality in motion then. And then it's not really a dream. It's literally you have reality in motion. You're going in a forward progression towards those goals. And so when it comes to real estate, look at the big picture. Or first of all, what do you want short term when it comes to real estate? Is it buying your first house? So you're a homeowner. And then from there, because the reason why I say buy your first house, what if we showed you how to buy your first house as an asset, then using a government program, right? Mm-hmm. Then taking that same government program and buying a single family residence after that, right? Mm-hmm. And then now all of a sudden you might have from that with a duplex or let's say a quad and then a single family, that's 5 units right there off of doing 2 moves in 2 years. See right there, see how it's really we can talk about it and we can explain it very simply, right? And because it takes credit to do that, it takes obviously being able to afford it, a job. But at the end of the day, if you have that, and let's just say you're lacking one thing, well, why not figure out how can I get that thing that I'm lacking? If it's credit, if it's finances, if it's the fact that I haven't done my taxes yet, whatever it is, we just need to know, and then we can help because we have tax professionals. Like I said, Omar is a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. I'm a real estate investor. Mm-hmm. When it comes to resources, we can bring the people to the table that's needed, even down to the appraisers, even down to the inspectors. You're going to need all of these things in a real estate transaction. So why not trust us as your trusted team? Because we're in this for you. It's a team effort when we're talking about what we're doing. Where it's not just one person shining, it's everybody doing their part, staying in their lane, and really being good at what they do, and letting the other team member do exactly the same thing. And then when that happens, then for the clients, it's now you have a full-on team that's literally put together and assembled based off of what you want as a client. It's not based off of what we want, because why would a client want our goals and our dreams, right? Mm-hmm. So as long as we know what those are, we'll assemble a team around that so everybody's proactive and everybody's working together to get to that common goal for the client.
Mm-hmm. Thomari, let me ask you, so a very business-focused question for your services. What if someone is on the fence because they know they need to get it done because their credit sucks, but they're afraid if they call or reach out that they're just going to be sold something or pay something with no really guarantees of will they actually fix my credit or will they just take my money and run? What do you say to people that kind of have that kind of I guess, visual of how they see credit repair?
Well, that's a really great question, Omar. And that's why when us at Credit Pulse, when we put, when we put in our programs together as a staff, we wanted a performance-based program where we can put in writing and we can stand by the fact that we will put in writing that you don't pay unless you get performance. You actually, we actually can quantify what the work is that we do and put it on paper, And so one of the things that in any business transaction, having a contract and having a company stand by what they say. And if it's hey, we can't make any promises on anything, well, at least now and they can put that in the contract. Or if it's we can guarantee deletions, or we can guarantee one single deletion in 60 days, or whatever it may be. That's good for a client to know. And at the end of the day, when we help people, we want them to feel good about the service. So it's performance based. So I'll use an example, a pay per deletion model, right? With the pay per deletion model, there's an audit fee where the audit fee is within, where we're able to give you a full analysis on everything on your credit report. We'll go through your credit report with a fine tooth comb with the client, and we'll produce an actual report. Now, in that report, most of the time there's going to be charge-offs, there's going to be collections, there's going to be inquiries, there's going to be names that may not be the client's names. It could be like, if there's a junior or a senior. So we call those mismatch files, where it's mixed files, where these are really like consumer law violations, where if those are on the credit report, you want a consultant to be able to let you know where we can help you. And so when we're able to charge an audit fee, that's skin in the game, right? So having skin in the game in any business, because unless it's where you don't charge anything, there's got to be some kind of incentive for a business to stay in business. So having skin in the game on the audit fee, and then with that audit fee, you don't pay. You get a refund if you don't see a single result in 2 months, which is 60 days, which is 2 rounds of disputes. Okay, if you don't see a single deletion, full refund, right?
Oh,
so
okay, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So there, and then the audit fee is like $250. It's like you have $250 in the game, and then from that $250, now that gets you in the door. Okay, now from there, you don't pay until you get deletions. And so let's just say a collection is $50 per deletion per bureau. So you don't pay until after it comes off the report. So that's performance based. Mm-hmm. So you see how a client can they can make a minimal investment, because your credit, when you think about what we talked about on episode, I believe it was episode 2 or 3, but we were talking about how having skin in the game, but at the end of the day, we want the clients to feel good about not just putting money into credit repair. It's, you want to feel good about getting those results. Because what's the cost of not doing credit repair? That's the real question people need to ask. Mm-hmm. What will it cost me if I stay at this 500 or stay in the 400s or stay in where I'm not qualifying for some of the different things that align with those goals that I have, but I'm not able to qualify for them? Or how about this? I qualify for them, but I'm paying 25%. What does that cost you? And really break those numbers down and amortize those numbers for the life of the loan and the contract, right? So if it's a 5-year contract at 25% or 23%, on your car loan, what is that costing you in 5 years versus, let's just say you had prime credit where you have 750 score or 700 score or 680, right? Mm-hmm. So what would that cost versus, 23% 5 years at 500, Yeah. So, just like there's a cost of doing business, there's an opportunity cost as well. And there's also an opportunity cost of not moving forward on something that you really need. Because let's face it, we live in the United States of America, and credit is used against us or for us. One way or the other, you have to look in the mirror and say, hey, what is my credit pulse? And if you know what your credit pulse is, you should know if it's good or bad, or if you need a resuscitation. You should know that by just looking in the mirror and saying, what is my credit pulse, and what can I do to either help it or maintain it?
I mean, I can't stress that enough. The cost of waiting. I mean, if you were to look at that and look at the math for that and see how that extrapolated over 20 years, I mean, it would be a no-brainer if you saw it that way. And another thing I picked up from what you said was the performance-based kind of business model you have as far as how you charge, and that in and of itself is how I think you stay in business, right? Because that's now you have to perform first before the client has to pay anything. And that already kind of inspires a lot of trust for me, because now I know you have to get it done. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Um, One thing that I didn't want to forget to mention was when you first approached me, you were really just super wanting to give back and be appreciative of, to my veteran audience, and not just say thank you for your service. And there is some type of can you tell me a little bit more about some of the services that you have, especially for veterans?
Absolutely. So, like you said, Omar, I feel like when people say thank you for your service, I feel like we should show you thank you and tell you thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what we've come up with is a veterans program where we provide credit repair services for free for veterans. If you can prove that you're a veteran with your military ID, or any way that you can prove that you're a veteran, just everybody doesn't say, hey, I'm a veteran and not be a veteran.
Yeah.
And so once you're able to do that, we have a monitoring service that we use. It's a third party service that you would need to pay that monthly service for the free credit repair. Okay. And we'll do the first round for free, right? Because, doing it for a lifetime, there's obviously a cost to that. And unfortunately, we're not a nonprofit service, but doing your first round for free, and all of the fees that most people would pay, we would comp that out, not charge the client, and then that monitoring service is $29.99 a month. Okay. Now, after the first month, we'll give a full report on all of the deletions that happened in the first month, which that audit fee that we told you about, we waive that audit fee as well. So there's no audit fee. There's nothing up front in terms of the credit repair services. And then we just need that monitoring service up. Now, having that monitor service up, it won't ding the credit in terms of 2 to 4 point ding, or drop the credit 2 to 4 points. So that allows us to go back in there after the first month and then reassess the work that's been done, the deletions. And then the client typically has homework too. They have to maintain their payment history. No lates in that first month, or kind of sets them back. Also, the client, we teach the client about utilization, because veterans having that utilization, that might be something that they can do where between the utilization and the credit repair, in the first month, you can go from not qualifying to now you're qualifying, which is a huge swing, And so being able to, really break that down in the consultation, that's free. And then going in and coming back, after the first month of the free credit repair, that can just put you in a whole nother situation. And I've seen it. And sometimes that consultation, you may not even need credit repair. It's like just knowing where you're at and educating the veterans on how credit works, is that right there. We always talk about it, Omar, knowledge is power. Yep. Right? And if you don't have the knowledge of where you're starting, it's really hard to know where you're going or how to get there. And so that free consultation, and then the free credit repair services is really set up. So now, once we bring that community aspect to this, now we can really dive into those goals on what that for the veteran. And we talked about loan products for veterans that they might not even know about. So we're going to send them to the mortgage professional to really break that down to them. Mm-hmm. Again, that's no cost. So we're literally referring them to already vetted mortgage lender that specializes in VA loans. I mean, because let's be honest, not every mortgage professional really specializes in VA loans. Yeah. Some mortgage professionals specialize in FHA loans. Mm-hmm. Some mortgage, they might specialize in conventional loans. Some mortgage professionals might specialize in hard money loans. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the day, once we're able to bring that community together and to really assess where you're at, now we're going to send you to the professionals that specialize in VA loans because you're a veteran. Mm-hmm. And so it almost like we're eliminating a lot of that time of where do I go? How do I get there? And we're in like an hour, we can figure out pretty much everything based off of what that goal is and where to send the clients to, and then really giving them that foundation of and that support that they really need to be successful in this in the process. Because you do have to be what I found in the 15 years of doing this, you need to be strategic in terms of the process, because if you're not, you can spin your wheels not only with the credit process but the home buying process or the lending process. If you're not going to the right professionals that really know what they're doing and they have a track record, where you can go on Yelp, where you can go on Zillow. I mean, you can go on Yelp or Zillow, or you can go on some of the, you can see how they're branding themselves out there. You can see the reviews that people are talking about them. And so we don't align ourselves with people that don't have, those high standards, not only for themselves and their business, but we wouldn't align ourselves with people that wouldn't have those same standards, where we align ourselves and we look at ourselves as those professionals that have those high star ratings and that have that proven track record over years of doing this. And so that's the benefit of the platform that you created and the community that you created, because now, when good people do good business, they attract to each other. And that's what we've created with this platform. And that's what we created over these years of doing credit repair with these lenders. Because at the end of the day, being able to do credit repair in multiple different states, there's multiple different lenders. So I know there's big nation out there. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I know we live in Austin, and there's a lot of opportunity in here in Austin. And that's the reason why I moved here to Austin, because all of the opportunity, and it allowed us to meet, it allowed us to come and put this platform together. But at the end of the day, we want to help people that need help. And if you're not in Austin, we're still going to be able to help you. If you are in Austin, we would love to help you. And so it's just really like bringing that community aspect. And that's what we've been really good at being able to put together.
Absolutely. I mean, one thing I think we want to be is like a one-stop shop, right? Where if you come to us for credit repair services, Thomari has his sphere of other vendors, other affiliates, where he can connect you with the right people, right? And if you're like me, where you want to do your own homework because you want to vet people out to see like, hey, are these people authentic? Are they real? Or do they have good intentions? That's how I think and operate too. That's how Thomari thinks and operates too. So we surround ourselves with those kind of like-minded individuals. That way, if you're looking for real estate, if you're looking for credit repair, if you're looking for real estate investing, right? How does that work? Or with the lender aspect, as it, how all this revolves around, the real estate game. We can connect you with the right people, and they're going to be almost same kind of values and kind of same type of mindset how we see the world, right? And I hope that's how that's definitely my intention when we do these videos, and why we're going to continue to do these videos is because I want to show people like, hey, there are good people out there that do business, and it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom, or face the uncertainty of getting screwed somewhere along the line, because I firmly believe I win when you win.
Absolutely. Isn't that the best when it's a win-win situation for everybody? Yes. That's the best business ever. Win-win for everybody involved. And that's what we create, win-win situations based off of what the client wants. Just like on the investment side of things, the seller, what does the seller want? Finding that out helps so much. And if you're trying to buy a house, because once you understand what the seller wants, then you can sit back and understand that, and then put a plan together that complements the seller and yourself. That's how I look from the investment standpoint. When I'm talking to a realtor, I want to know what that seller wants, because if you know that, then you can put a plan together that complements both, so it's a win-win situation. Same thing with the homeowner. What do you want? What I'm pretty sure, Omar, you have a whole strategy on finding that out. Once you know that, then you can give them the best position and put them in the game so they can win versus, putting them in the game where they can't win. And so it's really that simple. Just finding out what the homeowner wants. It helps us so much because then we can put the pieces of the puzzle together. So we're on the winning team because we're winners. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get this far in life for losing, and we didn't get this far in life with not aligning really good people that are family orientated, really good people that are goal driven. And so all we want to do is give that same opportunity to others. And that's, we talk about it all the time, Omar. When we wake up in the morning, it's like, how can we help somebody today?
Yeah.
And having that mantra and having that attitude and having that mindset, it allows us to really to really feel good about what we're doing and our work and our craft. Because when you're helping other people, it really feels good and it makes you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose. And I know that's why we clicked. And that's why, like, I surround myself with people that feel the same way. And I know you do as well, Omar. And that's why we clicked from day one.
I couldn't agree more. Okay, we're going to wrap things up here. And if you're watching this episode, it's your first time watching us, I highly encourage you guys to check out the rest of the playlist. We have a whole credit repair series on this where we take a deep dive on different subjects as it pertains to credit repair, because the end goal here being we want to fix your credit. That way you can get a great rate for your loan, and that way we can get you into a home.